Okay, today we are going to set up our server with Active Directory and DNS, Domain Naming Service. It's been a little while since I've done this, and I've installed a fresh copy of Windows 2019 Server to walk through it with you. The first thing we're going to want to do is prepare the system to be promoted to a domain. In order to do that, we need to take some steps, and it will require a couple of restarts. So the first thing we want to do is go to our local server and take a look at, our current setup. We are going to want to toggle updates. So right now it's install updates automatically. Now if you remember, we do not have NAT enabled, so updates have not been completed because there is no communication with the outside. I do, however, want to show you a way to set up manual updates versus automatic updates using a command called sconfig. If I recall, you can just Windows R, and that's sconfig, and it should, yes, here we are. Alright. When we run this command, you'll notice it's in a different display. This is much like the version of server without the desktop experience. Using numerical inputs, we can change various settings, including automatic updates. So let's Windows Update Settings, download only. If I choose option 5, I can then change those to download and install, updates automatically. Here we are. I have to set in A for automatic, D for download only, or M for manual. I'm just going to go ahead and set that to M for manual. And it's going to set that up. I do apologize, I still have just a little bit of a sniffle from that sickness I'm getting over. I'm going to input Command 15, and we're going to exit that. So, alright, moving on. Next we want to ensure we have the correct time zone selected. So we're going to come over here to time zone. It's automatically set to Pacific, US, Canada. I am on the East Coast, so I'm going to change my time zone. Okay, I found it. I edited this, so you wouldn't have to watch me struggle bus that. Alright, it is not 2:11 a.m. on Thursday. Okay. Alright, now that's the most difficult thing we've done. So let's do a refresh to make sure everything kind of stuck. Alright, now we're going to want to set our server to be a static IP address. We're going to do that by clicking on the Ethernet options here. It's going to take us to Ethernet, so we're just going to right click on that and go to Properties. And one thing you're going to want to do while you're here is, since we're not using this, we're going to just go ahead and disable IP protocol 6. We do not need that, so we're going to go into the properties of IPv4, and we're going to tell it what to use. And our static IP address is going to be 192.168.100.102, and I chose this number arbitrarily. It's just easier for me to remember. You can choose a different one if you like. And automatically set us up for a subnet class C. And that default gateway is 192.168.100. I believe it was 1. It's possibly 2. I'll have to double check that. So our preferred DNS, we're going to want to set up our own DNS, so we're going to have it point at ourselves. And for an alternative, I'll put the default Google DNS of 8. Gosh, why does it keep tabbing that way? 8. Just use the arrows next time. We're going to OK that and close it. Now we are set to a static IP. Next, we're going to enable remote desktop management, or remote desktop. Because in some of our future labs, we may want to access the server remotely. And finally, we're going to rename our computer, our server. So we're going to change this from this Win215. I want to change it to something simple since this is our home lab. We're going to call it not server. Server DC. Server DC for domain controller. So it will be the domain, not a member of a domain. We're just going to OK that. And this is going to, yes, require us to restart. So once that's done, we'll continue forward.